Hey guys, we're having a science lesson right now, and we're going to take some notes on electricity. So if you want to get out a notebook paper, or please get out a notebook paper, science on the top, name and date, today's the 8th, and just electricity. So we're going to rate a few notes, draw a little diagram or two about electricity. I'm basically going to cover what you saw from Mr. Cleghorn's video, what you saw from the Khan Academy video, and some of what you read in your book on electricity. So these are just going to be some of the highlights, just to kind of summarize what you've already been hearing, and then as you'll have these notes to help you, just to pull it all together. Okay? So I've got my notes written here. So all matter, the first thing you're going to write down, all matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. And I'm going to underline some of these words. These are going to be matter is made up of tiny particles. Wait, I forgot the word called, didn't I? All right. All matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. So that is the definition of what an atom is, what matter is, okay? Matter is, so now there are 3 parts of an atom. The 3 parts of an atom, which I know you know because you've been watching these videos and reading in your book. The 3 parts, you can tell it's kind of late. 3 parts of an atom. There are protons, electrons, and neutrons. So I know Mr. Cleghorn talked about Jimmy Neutron, and I don't know if you guys have even watched that cartoon. It's kind of old. It's more like a cartoon that my kids watched, but if you ever did watch that, that's where it comes from, because he was all into space and science. And so protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons and electrons are in the center of the atom, which is called the nucleus. The nucleus is the center of an atom. So inside the nucleus are the protons and the neutrons. These 3 parts all have a charge. The charge for protons is positive, and you can think P is positive for protons. Electrons have a negative charge, and neutrons have no charge, so they're neutral. So you'd say no charge or neutral. Negative and positive. Okay, so the nucleus again is the center of the atom. That's where the protons and the neutrons are. Okay, all right, I'm going to erase this so we have more room. I'm going to draw a picture of, a bigger picture of an atom. So we have an atom. Again, there's the nucleus. There's protons inside of it. Let's just give them 3, okay? And then there's neutrons inside of it. We'll give those 3 too as well. And then outside the nucleus are where the electrons orbit. So electrons, which have the negative charge, are orbiting around the nucleus, which is the center. Okay? So in nature, the way God created it, nature wants things to be balanced. So they want to have, atoms are in their natural state, they have the same number of electrons and the same number of neutrons. So here we have 3 protons and 3 electrons. So this atom, not that it's happy like it has feelings, but it's happy that that's the way God made it. That's the natural way it's in balance. However, since electrons are kind of moving around like this, they can move easily to something else, to another atom. So say there's another atom over here and it brushes up against this one. Let's just make another one over here. And we'll just say it's the same type of atom. So it's got 3 protons, 3 neutrons, and then it had, because they were both balanced, it had 3 electrons. So these are both happy, they're both balanced, but 3, 3, 3, 3. This one comes and brushes up against it, and this one just kind of flies over here. So it moves over here, jumps. Okay, so now, this isn't here anymore. This atom now has a negative charge because it has more electrons than it has protons. This has 4 to 3. This atom now has a positive charge. Because it has more protons than it has electrons. It has 3 protons and 2 electrons. Now, so this one's positive, this one's negative, okay? Because this one got jumped over there. So, since nature wants to have a balance, they don't want to be in balance like this. So these electrons, they want to move back to another proton, another atom that's positive to get them even again. So that's what electricity is. The electricity is the movement of extra electrons on atoms going into positively charged atoms to get them back into balance again. So for example, when Mr. Cleghorn talked about this, and maybe Khan Academy did too, but I know Mr. Cleghorn did, like when you have socks on and you're walking against the carpet, you can be picking up electrons from the carpet and they're going onto your socks. So now your socks are negatively charged. So your whole body is, because you're carrying that on you, right? So when you touch something metal, we'll pretend this is metal, like Mr. Cleghorn did. If I touch this, I can have a shock because those extra electrons in my body are trying to get out because they want to be balanced. They're going to go over here into that metal, and I'll feel a shock. Okay, that's basically the simple form of electricity. It's basically what it is the electrons are moving back to get balance. Okay, the other example he gave was clouds, because clouds are moving through the sky, through the air, and as they're moving, they're kind of brushing up against other atoms. They're picking up electrons, and they pick them up and they pick them up, and they get negatively charged, and then eventually lightning will strike. Even sometimes you'll see it in the sky, it's kind of cool. Sometimes it comes to the earth, or sometimes it just goes from cloud to cloud. They call that heat lightning, I think, where it's just like up in the clouds, you'll just see the lightning back and forth, because they're all trying to get back to balance. So that's basically what a summary of what electricity is, and and the parts of atoms and how it all works. So that's basically all I wanted you to have. I want these things written down so that, again, you can study it, and we'll be able to have a little quiz later on where you'll kind of be able to articulate back to me what you've learned about electricity. Okay, and we'll talk live. We'll go over a study guide together later, but I just wanted you to again see it and have notes for yourself, okay? Maybe I could just do a quick little picture before we end of the electrons on the socks, just to kind of have a picture of that, okay? So we have these notes written down, just a little bit more before we end. Just to draw another picture. So I want you to draw this picture, okay? So you got your carpet, okay? It is, and then you're walking around and you've got your socks on. So the electrons are going onto the socks. You're picking them up as you're walking along, kind of rubbing your feet against the carpet. So the socks have a negative charge, And then eventually when you touch something, so here's your body. How did I do this before? Oh my goodness. Did I make a whole person? Ay, ay, ay. Do I want to make a whole body? Here's our body. With 1 foot. We gotta make 2 feet. Okay. So both, that's, 1 foot is really big. Ay, ay, ay. So all our the socks are just getting full of electrons. So that when you, later on, with your hand, you touch something, metal, what can I think of that's metal, Michael? I don't know. Like a pole? So here's a metal pole. We'll just say it's a metal pole. You will feel a shock, electric shock. Because the electrons that are in your body, you got too many now, and they're trying to come out. So they're going to go out into the pole, and you'll feel that burst of that electricity, basically, is what that is. Okay? All right, you guys. Hope that was helpful. Hope you understand a little bit more. And again, I wanted you just to have some notes for your notebook and that you could refer back to when we study for our quiz later on. Okay? We'll talk later. Talk to you. Bye.